Hello everyone, this is Karen Cornell, your Creative Memories Advisor, and I am super excited to do this project recipe this week because it was actually requested by one of you. And this goes back to my whole thing about building a community and communicating with each other and supporting each other and cheering each other on as we preserve our family memories. But I had a wonderful follower message me and say, could you please do project recipe number 30? I've wasted so much paper. So I am going to do that one today. And I will say, I do advise you to do this one when you're not so tired. And because it does require a lot of brain power. And when they do all these angle cuts and different measurements and stuff like that, if you are one that's a late night scrapper and you just kind of get them done late at night, you might want to save this one when you're a little bit more fresh. But with that being said, this one may take a little bit longer. You know, I always try to get them done in like 20 to 25 minutes. So this one may take a little bit longer because I'm going to spend a little bit extra time about teaching you how to do those kind of cuts. So if you like doing project recipes and you just like my style of how I try to get them done quickly and building a community, please like and follow my YouTube channel. It's Karen Cornell Scrapbooking. I would love to hear from y'all as well. And let's get started. So let me switch my camera. So we are going to do project recipe number 30. It does allow you to have 7 photos. So don't stress if you don't have the book. I know some people last week commented that they found it on eBay and it's marked up. I'm not going to lie. But if you really, really must have the book, there are some on eBay. I did reach out to Home Office and asked if I could get some more because of my big following on YouTube and how this is growing. And they were unable to get me any. So I tried. But don't stress because I do walk you through every step of the process. So just remember next year in November, around the birthday celebration of Creative Memories, they have been in the past offering a book of some kind of sketches or project recipes. So keep that in mind for the future. And don't worry, I will remind you when it comes to that time. But this is project recipe 30. And whenever Creative Memories does these weird cuts like this, first of all, it's an optical illusion of it's not all different pieces of paper. It's only 2 pieces of paper, but you use the flip sides and stuff. So that's where it gets complicated. So let's look at this, and you will need, let me backtrack. You will need 2 pieces of base paper, designer paper. I'm using designer paper as well. You can use cardstock. And then you're going to need 3 different pieces of designer paper. So a total of 5 pieces of paper. However you want to interchange some cardstock in there is fine. You're going to need your 12-inch trimmer. You're also going to need a border punch or border maker cartridge. I'm going to use the fishnet because I am going to use the Seaside collection. And this is a collection that I've had for a while, and I have one project recipe in there from before, but I just love this collection. I love how they have the Papa red with the blue, and it's just really pretty. So let me show you those cuts and show you what gets tricky and just kind of give you a little bit idea. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing 2 different cuts. You're going to do one with a 3.5-inch piece of paper and then one with a 2-inch paper. And the trick is not to flip your paper and go crazy and think it through. I will walk you through. And it's a neat technique to be able to use your trimmer in a way that it's designed. It does give you that 45-inch mark, and a lot of us don't use that very often. So this gives us an opportunity to take advantage of the way the trimmer was designed to be used. But just so you know, this is these are the flip sides. So it does look like this, just so you know. So we want it to look like this, and then we want it to look like this. So see how it has a point and a point. So we're going to get that way, and we're going to do it very carefully and slowly. And this is a time that this is great that this video is being recorded, because then you can pause when you need to and think it through. Okay, so let's stop. I'm going to clear my space and put these all off to the side. Some fell. That's okay. Okay. So I did try these cuts prior to doing with my paper, because whenever angles are involved, I like to use some scratch paper and try to make sure I'm doing it right. So I'm going to have these papers are going to be my base papers. This real pretty sand. Those are going to be my 2 base pages. And then my first is going to be a designer paper that we're going to punch a border. And that is going to be all the green on here. So the mats and the border. Okay. Then my second paper is going to be all the orange. And that's going to be this. The orange is underneath the blue right here. So that is going to be this one, because I want a flip side paper as well. So that's how I'm going to use that. And then number 3 is going to be the little marks here and here. So we have a few little spots for that, and that is going to be my little anchor paper. So I'm not using the flip side because this flip side is just not very exciting to me. So it's very muted, and since these colors are bright and vibrant, I wanted to stay with that and not have a muted tone on part of the cool little banner at the bottom. So the first thing we need to do is punch our border. So I'm going to get my handy dandy little mat back here where I punch. And remember, when you have a border punch, you have these little marks in the front, and that's where you're going to line up your paper to start. And then you push it down, and then you just slide it down until you match it up with the blue underneath. And you just go all the way down. Oops, I think I went too far. I love this little fishnet. It's so cute. There's one fishnet, so I need to do another one. So I clear this off to the side. And I'm going to do it again. Line it up in the front with those black marks. The other thing is, if you notice, you have a little piece of little kind of triangle. It's hard to see, but there's a little triangle. Yeah, if I bend the paper there, you can see that there's a little triangle. It lines up with the triangle here, so that helps you know where to line up your paper. You're not always guessing. So it does help give you that little guide as well, but always make sure you're lining up with the image as well. So it gives you kind of like a checks and balances to make sure you're lining it up right. I like that. Just a little bit. You can cut those or just kind of pull them off. There we go. And that is done. You are done with your border punch or border maker cartridge. So you're just going to clear your space. Next, we're going to cut the mats. So we're going to do just 4 by 6 mats. So because this has the little spots, you can't really see them, but see how it sticks out a little bit there? So I'm going to use my other side. So we're going to go 4 by 6. We'll cut 2 4s real quick, and then we'll cut them at 6. This is extra. You can use for a different quick border. If you're doing a title, you can use that on your Cricut real quick. For little 1-inch letters. I love these project recipes that challenge our brain, but not too much, because, you know, I don't want it too complicated. Okay, so we are done with designer paper number 1. So now we're going to move on to designer paper number 2. So you are going to cut a 3.5-inch strip. So you're going to cut straight down. And then another 3.5-inch strip. And then these are going to be little squares, 3-inch squares. So just cut 3 inches straight down. And then you're going to do another 3-inch. Turn your paper and make a 3-inch square. And then another one. Okay, so this is scrap. So this is a great way. Look at how easy this is to make this a border. You're starting to build a border here, y'all, with your scraps for another layout. Fantastic. Okay, now we are going to take a deep breath and we are going to do this together. I promise you can do this. So in the directions, it says for pieces G, H, and I, first cut a 3.5-inch by 12-inch strip. We've done that. Then you're going to place the strip on the 12-inch trimmer at a 45-degree angle, 2 inches from the top of the trimmer to create a corner piece for G. Rotate the same strip and repeat on the other corner. So it sounds really hard, but it's not that hard. So what you're going to do is you're going to see this 45-degree angle. It's written on your trimmer. You're going to line your paper up to that. Then you're going to take this little tip up here and go to the 2-inch mark. So just slide it until you hit the 2-inch mark. And you're also going to pay attention to where this dotted line is of where your cutting is. That's where your blade is going to make that cut. So you want to make sure it's lined up with that as well. And I feel like every trimmer is different a little bit, and you know where that line, where your trimmer actually cuts. But I do take the little guides at the top to make sure it's going to be at that point. Double check that you're at the 45-degree angle, and then you are going to make that cut. So, and I always double check. So here is my paper. I'm going to turn my paper so that it's the same way if you're a visual learner, and make sure I'm cutting right here and I'm cutting right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. There is that first piece. Okay, and I'm going to slide this over so you can actually see that. Okay, now this is where it gets tricky. You don't want to flip your paper. You don't want to do anything. You just want to rotate clockwise. And then you're going to line it up at the 2-inch mark as well. So you're going to line up at the 45-degree angle. And you're going to make sure that that point is at the spot where your trimmer cuts. So you're going to double check it with your little guides. Okay, and then you're going to make another cut. Okay, so then now we have right here. Okay, and you're actually going to be using the reverse side of both of these. So it looks like this. Now, we're going to do the same thing, but instead of having it on the blue side, you're going to flip it to your other side, your B side. So we already cut the A side, now we're going to cut the B side. So the first step was to line it up at the 45-degree angle, go up to the 2-inch mark. Here is your 2-inch mark right here, 2 inches from the top of your trimmer. You've got that line all the way across, so that really helps you line it up. You're gonna double check it and you're gonna cut it. Then you're gonna just rotate clockwise. Make sure it's on the 2-inch line. And cut it. So then it'll look like this, which is, well, the reverse, but we'll do it like this. There we go. So it'll look just like that, just like you have it like that. So let's say you wanted the blue side. So you're just gonna have your blue go like this. And you've made the correct cuts. So if that's my A and then I want my B on the other side. There it is, okay? So don't freak out if you flipped it all around, it's okay. Just to match the guide, this is what you're gonna have. So this is what your first designer paper with all these crazy ones gonna look like. So congratulations, give yourselves a pat on the back, you did it. Okay, so now we are going to cut our next piece of designer paper. And this one is you're gonna do 2-inch strips. So we're gonna look at that 2-inch strip. We're gonna cut our first 2-inch strip. And if you messed it up, don't beat yourself up because remember, after all, it's just paper. I guarantee all of you have more paper in your stash that will work. It may not be the exact paper, but it will work. And sometimes you will be pleasantly surprised that you like it better. So then you're gonna cut it 3 inches and you're gonna make 2 3x3 squares again. So here's 1 3x3 and then another 3x3. Okay, got that done. This is all extra, okay? So just push that off to the side. Okay, so now this cut is different. So this one says you're lining up at the 7-inch mark and all this stuff. So it gets a little, this one's a little bit more complicated. So you're gonna line up at the 45-degree angle and you're gonna take this little tip and put it at the 7-inch mark because you're basically cutting this in half. So just have that little tip up there with the other one. Oops, I just moved my paper. And you're gonna cut it in half, okay? Then you're gonna take these two pieces and put them together. They may be off a tiny bit, but don't stress. And then you're going to take this and we are going to make, we're gonna get rid of, we're gonna cut it so that we get that 2-inch mark. So here it is. You're gonna turn it so that you're gonna line this piece up at the 2-inch mark, which you know how to do that because you just did it. So you're cutting both at the same time. Make sure your papers are aligned and they're connected. We'll double check. You're gonna line it up at the 2-inch mark all the way up there. Sorry, it's taking a little bit of time. I just want to be sure I'm doing it right. If you're not sure of cutting two at the same time, don't. Cut one and then the other. Okay, now you're gonna cut here and you're gonna cut, they've already cut here. So see how this line and this line. So if you're a visual learner, you're gonna see that, okay? So I just moved my paper. Because we're used to cutting at the 2-inch. Sorry, it just keeps moving every time I do it. And I'm trying to go slow so I don't lose anybody. Okay. There. So that one's done. Then on this one, you're going to flip it and you're going to do the other side. So you're going to flip it now, and then you're going to line it up the same thing and cut it at the 7-inch. You don't want to cut both of these at the same time with the other 2-inch strip because your diagonals will go on the opposite way. Now you put these two together. And you're going to line it up at the 45-degree angle and the 2-inch strip. A 2-inch mark. Sorry, not the strip. The whole thing's a 2-inch strip, silly. Okay. See, this one went together quicker. Okay, then you're going to cut this like that. And then we have our pieces. So it looks like this. So if you look at your piece right here, let me move this over. We don't need our trimmer anymore. So if you look at over here, we've got our points. And then we have our, these are actually going to be trash or whatever. You don't need those. And then this goes up here and this goes right here. Or actually that one. Okay. Or actually it's this one. I'll get it right. There. Then they match up. Okay. And then you don't need these bottom ones. Okay. All good. You did it. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. So now let's assemble. So we're going to put these off to the side. We're going to take our strip. You're going to line it up at the bottom. Put this in the 12 by 12. Then you're going to have this one is going to go this way. And I'll slide this over so you can see. See how that goes together like that? So we're fixing that optical illusion. So then this is the reverse, the flip side. And then I have these pieces. It's going to go right up against it. You'll just need to like figure out which side is yours, because mine, I have a little bit of a dimensional, so mine are going to go towards each other, my little anchors. And then, so that's the bottom. And if you wanted, you could keep this like this, or you can have the flip side. That's up to you. Then we are going to add our border. Our border is going to go like this. Then we're going to have our mats. I think there's 2 there. And these are about 3/4 of an inch from the top of the page, or an inch from the top of the page. Yeah, it's about an inch actually. And then you're going to have this in the middle. And this is going to be here. And this is going to be here. Like that. You could flip that if you wanted, or flip this as you wanted. So, and you can do anything you want with those, but this is the gist of it. So, let's start sticking it down. Are you feeling accomplished right now? I hope you are, because you should be. You should definitely feel accomplished. When CM does those weird cuts, it's frustrating when you don't get it right away and you're wasting paper and you're like, why can I not figure this out? I am a very smart woman or person. So, it's crazy. I have to say, those crazy cuts sometimes when we're putting them together at my events at a crop, and it's a late night. It's 9 o'clock or whatever when we're trying to put it together, and we all start laughing, and then people will miscut it, and then they're like, okay, time to go rogue. So they call it going rogue. Because I was taught by my art teacher that I worked with when I was a music teacher that there's no mistakes in art. And I love that. So there's no mistakes. So you just put that in there. But I hope this video helps you understand these kind of tricky cuts and helps you learn a different way to use your trimmer, because your trimmer is great. And there's lots of ways we can use it, and sometimes we don't always use it. We just do straight cuts instead of diagonal cuts, and we should challenge ourselves sometimes. It's not that hard when you break it down step by step. And sometimes we need somebody else to break it down for us, and that's okay. Don't apologize. I had to think about it for a while too, so. But then when you finish it, you're like, oh, I did it. Oops, I just ran out of tape. Okay, so then we're gonna put this in here. Isn't it pretty? It's coming together. Okay, then we're gonna put this one down. This one's gonna go this way. Did I go over too far? Hold on, I did. I was like, something's not right. So I would use repo, but I ran out of repo. Don't worry, I have more. I just have to go grab it, which I will. Okay. There we go. Okay, let me grab some repo. It never fails. Whenever I'm filming, I'm like, oh, I have plenty of tape. I don't. Okay. Very cute. Then I'm going to take my little handy dandy mat. Put that down. Sorry, we just hit the 30-minute mark, and I know I try to get them done, but I told you ahead of time it was going to be a little bit longer because I wanted to spend extra time, and I hope that extra time helped you. And feel free to pause the video if you need help and just need a few moments and even a breather, because sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I did it. I can't believe I did it. And then you get excited. So it's all good. Well, I'm in Georgia and it's Masters Week this week, and it's a big deal. Like, the state kind of shuts down for the Masters. It's very exciting. And we love the Masters. I had the wonderful opportunity we won the lottery and got to go last year, and it was absolutely incredible. I really have no words of how beautiful it was. It was stunning. Why is this not fitting 6 by 6? Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. Oh, it goes a little bit past, sorry. Okay. So I'm gonna move this up a little bit so I have a little bit more break, and it goes up just a tad. And then you're gonna take this one, and this goes up in a little corner. If you want to, you don't have to. But I leave a little flap here so I can slide my picture in. So see my little flap? Yeah. And then I have this one. I love the blue and the red, that Papa red. It's just something else. Such a cute layout when you get it all done. Pop this one up just a tad, just a smidge, so you have room to put the other one down here. Oops. Went a little crooked there. And then this is going to go just in the bottom here. And I may end up putting a picture here, so, because I like more pictures. Or it could be just a journal box, but we'll see. But I think I don't like it just having one little, see how it has one little lobster? It needs more. Let's do anchors. This one has 2 anchors. We'll do these 2 anchors. See how they're going the same direction? There we go. I like that better. Okay, so then I can embellish later. I will figure out how to embellish. You can, embellish here and down here. You have all this room down here. You could even put like a journal down here, or I forget what the write-on stickers. You could do those right down here for journaling as well. So lots of possibilities, a beautiful layout. Don't be intimidated when they have these angle cuts. Just use your trimmer and it's great. So I hope this video helped you do Project Recipe 30 and you weren't terrified of it. I think you need to give yourselves a pat on the back, both sides, because you did it and I'm so proud of you. So if you liked this layout and you like how I taught it, please subscribe to my page and follow my YouTube channel, Karen Cornell Scrapbooking. I will post this final layout on my Facebook page, which is also Karen Cornell Scrapbooking. I hope you have a fabulous day and enjoy this spring-like weather. I know we have it here in Georgia, it's spring-like today. So I hope you have a fabulous day. Happy scrapping!